children, how are you? I welcome you all, grade 5, for our today's English class. In our today's English class, we are going to see the revision part for our first periodic test, children. Let's get into the session. Children, before getting into the session, first let's know about the exam date, timing and the total marks for your periodic test 1 in English, children. Children, look at here carefully. You are going to write your English periodic test 1 on 15th of this month by the time 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. and you are going to write for the total marks 30. So be clear in this, children. You are going to write your English periodic test 1 on 15th by the time 4 p.m. 4 o'clock in the evening to 5:30. 4 to 5:30 in the evening, and you are going to write the periodic test for total marks 30. So you are going to write your periodic test for 30 marks, children. So be clear in this first, children. Now let's see the portions for the periodic test 1. Children, look at here carefully your portions for your periodic test 1. So you're going to write the first unit. For example, here for first prose, the first prose 1. Why the evergreen trees never lose their leaves. And the first poem, Be a Friend. From workbook, you are going to have the first chapter, A True Story. So first prose from your course book, first poem from your course book, from your workbook, first chapter, first story. So the prose 1 is Why the evergreen trees never lose their leaves. The first poem is Be a Friend, and the workbook first chapter is A True Story. So this is what you're going to have for your portions as for your periodic test 1, children. Look at the book exercise here. In textbook exercises from page number 6 to 17. So the book exercise, you have to go through all the book exercise from page number 6 to 17 in your course book. Then in your workbook, the first chapter, A True Story, page number 2 to 7. So these pages exercises must be gone through for your periodic test 1, children. So you have to thorough with these textbook exercises, and finally you're going to have a composition, that is letter writing, informal letter. So that informal letter we will discuss in the live teachment session evening tomorrow. So this is what your portions, children. So be clear in this. I'll repeat once again. Children, you're going to have your first prose. The title of the prose is Why the evergreen trees never lose their leaves, and the first poem, Be a Friend. This is from your course book. From your workbook, chapter 1, first story, A True Story. That is about the Owen and Maisie story, So that story is for your periodic test. First prose, first poem and first workbook chapter. Then moving on to the book exercises, textbook, that is course book exercises from page number 6 to 17, workbook exercises from page number 2 to 7. Then finally composition you are going to have, that is letter writing, informal letter. That we will discuss in the live session tomorrow, children, tomorrow by evening. So this is what your portions. I will provide the pattern later. I will send you in the group. So be thorough in these things. Now let's move on to the revision area. Let's revise the portions, prose, poem, and workbook chapter 1 with its summary and question answers one by one now. First, let's see the summary for the first prose. The first prose title is Why the Evergreen Trees Never Lose Their Leaves by Florence Hallberg. Written by Florence Hallberg. So, this was the summary. Once there was a forest. In that forest, there was a family of birds living there. Due to the winter season, the birds started to move from the forest area to the warmer place. So, at that time, one small little bird had broken his wings and it couldn't fly over the sky. So, it fell down all alone in a cold forest. So immediately that small little bird started to asking some help from the trees of the forest. First it went to the bridge tree. The little bird asked for help from the bridge tree to lend its branches to take some rest. But the bridge tree refused it. Again, to the next tree, the little bird went, that is the oak tree. The little bird asked the oak tree to give some branches to take rest. But the oak tree also refused it. Then at last it reached a willow tree, gentle willow tree, but even the gentle willow tree refused it. Finally, the little bird was very much upset and was heartbroken and lonely. Suddenly, the little bird heard some calling. That was the spruce tree that gave the branches to the little bird to take some rest in the warm branches till the winter has gone. Not only the spruce tree, the little bird was offered with food and shelter and warmth by 3 trees that are all pine, spruce and Jupiter tree. So these 3 trees, they gave their food, shelter and warmth to this small little bird. At last, the forest king rewarded these 3 trees, that is pine, spruce and Jupiter trees, by making them evergreen trees because of their kindness towards the little bird. So the kindness towards the small little bird gives them a reward from the forest king to these trees such as pine, spruce and Jupiter tree at last. So the moral of the story is that we need to show our selfless love and kindness to others. We need to help others and show kindness without any expectation. This way we create a circle and that kindness comes back to us. It always, what we give is what we get. So give your kindness and get your kindness back from the other people. So spread your kindness to everyone. So that's the moral of the story. Why the evergreen trees never lose their leaves. Children, now let's revise the question answers from the first prose. Why the evergreen trees never lose their leaves. Let us go in order. First Roman keywords is there. First one, acrons. Acrons means it's a flower, fruit of oak tree, acrons. Second word, evergreen. Third word, proudly. Fourth word, heartbroken. Fifth word, stranger. So look at the spelling for acrons. ACORNS, acrons. Second word evergreen, EVERGREEN, evergreen. Third word proudly, PROUDLY, proudly. Fourth word heartbroken, HEART, heart, BROKEN, broken. Fourth word. Fifth word strangers, STRANGERS, strangers. So that's all from the keywords. Let's move on to the question answers area. Children, look at the second Roman. Read these lines, read these sentences and answer the question that follow. The first line from the prose is that, may I live in your branches to keep warm from north wind. The first question, who said these words to whom? The answer, the little bird said these words to the willow tree. WILLOW, 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 WIL, will, LOW, low, willow tree. Look at the section B question, option B question. Who did the speaker ask for help before going to this tree? Answer, the little bird had asked the oak tree for help. So oak tree, OAK, oak, TREE, tree, oak tree. Let's see the option C question. What reply did the speaker receive? What reply did the speaker receive? Answer here, the willow tree refused. The willow tree refused to help the little bird and told the bird to leave him alone. The willow tree refused to help the little bird and told the bird to leave him alone. So that's the option C question for the first one. Let's move on to the second question and the lines here. Look at the second sentences, words from the story. Who knows what you will get up in that time? Who knows what you will get up in that time? So option A question, who were these words spoken to? To whom were these words spoken to? Answer, these words were spoken to the little bird. These words were spoken to the little bird. Option B question here. Look at the option B question. What was the reaction of the listener? What was the reaction of the listener? Answer, the little bird is the listener. He don't know what to do next. The answer here it is, the little bird is the listener. He don't know what to do next. So that is the option B question. Let's move on to the option C question. Look at here. Look at the option C question, children. What do you think about the speaker? What do you think about the speaker? Answer here, I think that the oak tree was too selfish and unkind. I think that the oak tree was too selfish and unkind. What do you think about the speaker? I think that the speaker, that is the oak tree, was too selfish and unkind. Selfish, SELFISH, selfish. Unkind, UNKIND, kind, unkind. Children, let's see the answer the following now. First question, look at here. Why was the little bird left alone in the forest? Why was the little bird left alone in the forest? Answer here, the little bird left alone in the forest because his wing had broken and he couldn't keep up with his family. So the answer is, the little bird left alone in the forest because his wing had broken, 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 and he couldn't keep up with his family. So that's the answer for the first question, children. Look at the second question. Why wouldn't the willow help the bird? Why wouldn't the willow help the bird? Answer here, the willow wouldn't help the bird because the willow did not like to talk with the strangers. The willow didn't like to talk with the strangers. STRANG or strangers. Willow didn't like to talk with the strangers. So that's the second question answer. Look at the third question, children, here. Look at the third question here, children. How did the bird feel when he speaking to the spruce? How did the bird feel when he speaking to the spruce? Answer here. The little bird felt relief when spruce tree helped him and offered him his branches all winter. The little bird felt relief or ELIEF relief when spruce tree helped him and offered him branches all winter. So that's the question and answer for the third question, children. Look at the fourth question. How did the pine help the bird? How did the pine help the bird? The pine said, answer here, the pine said to the little bird that my branches are not very thick, but I can protect you from the north wind. So this was the answer. The pine said to the little bird that my branches are very thick, but I can protect you from the north wind. So this was the statement given by the pine tree in the forest. Let's move on to the fifth question now. Look at the last and final question of the first prose, why the evergreen trees never lose their leaves. Look at the fifth question here. Why did Frost King spare the leaves of spruce, pine and juniper? Answer here. The Frost King spared the leaves of spruce, pine and juniper because of their kindness towards the helpless little bird. Because of their kindness towards the helpless little bird. So that's the fifth question from the lesson prose, why the evergreen trees never lose their leaves. Children, now let's see the summary for the poem Be a Friend. Let's see the poetry lines and with the explanation here. Be a friend, you don't need money, just a disposition sunny, just the wish to help another, get along some way or other, just a kindly hand extend out to one who's unbefriended, just the will to give and or lend, this will make you someone's friend. So for the first stanza, the explanation here it is, in the first stanza the speaker explains that it does not cost money to be a good friend. We just have to have a cheerful, helpful, generous attitude and the willing to always be present for others in times of need. So that's the explanation for the first stanza, children. Let's move on to the second stanza of the poem now. Let's read the second stanza with its explanation. Be a friend, you don't need glory. Friendship is a simple story. Pass by trifling errors blindly. Gaze on honest effort kindly. Cheer the youth who's bravely trying. Pity him who's sadly sighing. Just a little labor spent on the duties of a friend. So let's see the explanation for the second stanza. This stanza lists some of the duties of friendship. We should forgive our friends little mistakes and encourage them in whatever they are trying to do. Only when we share their sadness is when we will also be good, we called a good friend. So finally at last, only when we share their sadness we will also be called as a good friend. So that's the explanation of the second stanza. Let's move on to the third stanza now. Let's read the third stanza here. Be a friend, the pay is bigger, though not written by a figure, than is earned by people clever in what's merely self endeavor. You will have friends instead of neighbors for the profits of your labors. You will be richer in the end than a prince if you are a friend. So let's see the explanation of the third stanza. The third stanza points out that all those smart people who only work for their own benefit earn a lot of money, but they cannot earn a more valuable kind of wealth which can only be obtained by being friendly. When we are successful in making all of our neighbors are good friends, it is only then that we can be called being richer than a prince. So we need to be a good friend first, then only we will be called as a prince. So that's the explanation for the third stanza, children. Let's move on to the question answer area. So children, let's start from the first Roman, children. First Roman is your keywords. Look at the first keyword, friend, F-R-I-E-N-D, friend. Second one is blindly, B-L-I-N-D-L-Y, blindly. The third one is glory, G-L-O-R-Y, glory. The fourth one is labors, L-A-B-O-U-R-S, labors. Fifth one is money, M-O-N-E-Y, money. So that's all from the keywords, first Roman, children. I'll repeat again. First one is friend, second one is blindly, third one is glory, fourth one is labors, fifth one is money. Let's move on to the second Roman now. What is the second Roman? Read this sentence and answer the question that follow. So they will be asking the lines from the story and poem, and the questions will be asked from the lines. You have to answer the questions. So let's see the second Roman now. Children, look at the first one. Be a friend, you don't need money, just a disposition sunny, just the wish to help another, get along some way or other. So the first option, A. The question is, what do you need to be a friend? What do you need to be a friend? Answer here, we need a nature to help one another to be a friend. We need a nature to help one another to be a friend. So that's the first option, question and answer. Let's move on to the second one now. Look at the option B question. What is not necessary to be a friend? What is not necessary to be a friend? The answer here, money is not necessary to be a friend. Money, M-O-N-E-Y, money is not necessary to be a friend. So that's all from the first sentence and the options of question. Then let's move on to the second one. Look at the second sentence. Just a kindly hand extended out to one who's unbefriended. Just the will to give and lend. This will make you someone's friend. So the first question is, what do you do for someone who doesn't have friends? What do you do? What can you do for someone who doesn't have friends? The answer here it is, we can give a kindly hand extend. We can give a kindly hand extend who does not have any friend. So that's the answer for the first option. We can give a kindly hand extend who does not have any friend. Look at the option B question here. How else can you be someone's friend? How else can you be someone's friend? The answer here it is the will to give and lend make us someone's friend. The will to give and lend makes us someone's friend. So who else can you be someone's friend? The will to give and lend make us someone's friend. So that's the option B question and answer, children. So that's all from the poem question answer Be a Friend. Let's see and move on to the workbook chapter with its summary and question. So now let's see the summary and the question answers for the workbook chapter 1, that is a true story. Let's see the summary here. The inspiring story, true story of two great friends, a baby hippo named Owen and a 130-year-old giant tortoise named Maisie. When Owen was stranded means left alone after the December 2004 tsunami hit its house and the family members were died, and the Owen was alone, stranded alone in the seashore. Villagers in Kenya worked tirelessly. Tirelessly means hard work. Did their hard work to rescue him. Then, to everyone's amazement, the orphaned hippo, baby hippo, that is orphaned means without mother and father, without the family, is known as orphaned. The orphaned hippo and the elderly tortoise. So the elderly means the old tortoise. What is the age of the tortoise? 130 years old. Giant tortoise adapted each other. They become friend each other to each other. So here what happened next? Now they are inseparable. Inseparable means they won't separate themselves. They always be together. Who always be together? This small baby hippo, orphaned hippo, and the elderly tortoise, 130 years old tortoise, become friends, thick friends. Then they both always together in swimming, eating, playing together. So they always together in all their activities like swimming, eating and playing, etc. Adorable photos emailed from friends to friends quickly made them worldwide celebrities. This rare and wonderful friendship has been took as a photos by the visitors, and it was shared to each other, and they become famous worldwide as a celebrities, as a rare species friendship. So as small hippo being friend with the 130 years old tortoise. So it was just a beautiful scene to see. So Owen and Maisie is a heartwarming true animal story featuring an irresistibly cute baby. Here is a joyous reminder that in times of trouble, friendship is stronger than the differences that too often pulls us apart. So this cute friendship with the small baby and the huge hippo. Small hippo with the huge tortoise due to the trouble. In the times of trouble, this friendship creates a joyful reminder and made them stronger than the differences that two between them. So this shows a moral that friendship will make everything possible. So that's the story of the real story of the characters Owen and Maisie, the baby hippo and the 130-year-old tortoise. So children, that's all from the summary. Let's move on to the question answers area now. Children, look at the first Roman. Answer these questions. Section B from page number 3 from your workbook, chapter 1, the first story, a true story. Look at the first question here, children. What had happened to the baby hippo? What had happened to the baby hippo? Answer here. The baby hippo, along with his family, had been swept down. Swept down means taken away into the sea due to tsunami waves. So the baby hippo, along with his family, had been swept down, taken away into the sea due to the tsunami waves. So that's the answer for the first question. What had happened to the baby hippo, children? Look at the second question now. Here you have the second question, children. Listen carefully. How did Owen manage to get over his trauma? Trauma means from the shock that he lost his family. That was the shock. How did Owen manage to get over his trauma? Trauma means shock. Trauma means shock. Look at the answer here. When he formed a strong bond with a 130-year-old giant male tortoise, Maisie, at the Haller Parks Rescue Center. Haller Parks Rescue Center. So this was the answer, children, for the second question. When he formed a strong bond means friendship, bond with a 130-year-old giant male tortoise, Maisie, at the Haller Parks Rescue Center in Kenya. So that's the second question, children. Let's move on to the third question now. Look at the third question here, children. Who was Maisie? How did he initially react towards Owen? I'll repeat the question, children. Who was Maisie? How did he initially react towards Owen? So the answer here it is. Maisie was a giant male tortoise who was 130 years old, and she was uncomfortable and ran away from Owen. She was uncomfortable and ran away from Owen. How Maisie reacts? She was uncomfortable and ran away from Owen. Owen is the small baby hippo. Maisie is the tortoise. So are you clear with this, children? Yes. So the third question, who was Maisie? How did he initially react towards Owen? The answer here it is. Maisie was a giant male tortoise who was 130 years old, and she was uncomfortable and run away from Owen. So that's the third question, children. Let's move on to the fourth question now. How did Owen show his love for Maisie? Look at the answer here for the fourth question, children. First point, he would follow Maisie in exactly the way he would have followed his own mother. So, How did Owen show his love to Maisie? He would follow Maisie. The small baby hippo follow Maisie, the tortoise, in exactly the way he would have followed his own mother. Like a mother, the baby hippo followed the 130-year-old tortoise, Maisie. Okay, so that's the first point, children. Look at the second point here. The second point, they spend the day wallowing. Wallowing means together, walking here and there in the pond. Wallowing means swimming, walking together in the pond, and would snuggle up together at night. Say always together. It always blend with the Maisie. So together at night also. They spend the day wallowing in the pond and would snuggle up together at night. So that's the second point of the fifth question. Fourth question, children. So children, I'll repeat the fourth question again. How did Owen show his love for Maisie? First point, he would follow Maisie in exactly the way he would have followed his own mother. Second point, they spend the day wallowing. Wallowing means together by swimming and walking and jumping in the pond, and would snuggle. Snuggle means together, blend together up at night. They snuggle up together at night. They always be together even at night time also. So this is the way Owen shows his love to Maisie. So that's the end of the story from the workbook A True Story, Owen and Maisie, and its summary question answers, children. So go through the video completely, children, and learn the question answers thoroughly. By heart the question answers. Prepare well for the periodic 1 test. If you have any other doubts, you can call me and you can clear your doubts, and we will discuss the letter writing informal letter in the teachment session today. Watch the video and learn the question answers thoroughly, children, and understand the things. If you have any doubts, you can call me. I'll share the pattern in the group. According to the pattern, you can learn and start preparing for the periodic test, children. Start preparing from the question answers from the classwork, keywords, then textbook exercises. Then prepare and practice for the letter writing, informal letter also. All the very best, children, for your periodic test. Do your exam well.